If you're a songwriter who wants to know about how to write great, catchy, storytelling songs, then you need to know all about the song by Crowded House, which is called Weather With You. Written by the brothers Neil and Tim Finn on the 1991 album Woodface, it's become an instantly recognisable song for the band, having success all over the world and having been played now to date over 280 million times on Spotify alone. Now this song sounds absolutely incredible, yet in the way that it's actually been written, it follows the simple songwriting principles that I've taught to over 3,500 songwriters just like you. And when you use these principles correctly, it can literally transform your songwriting. The thing is about this song, it's not flashy, it's actually not trying too hard, but it has this high level craft. The intro is a hook that keeps coming back throughout the song. The verses are packed with film-like detail. The pre-chorus has a beautiful transition musically, and the chorus is so simple yet incredibly catchy. So in this video I'm going to be breaking down 6 reasons why every songwriter should study this song, and then what they can actually learn from the songwriting craft of Tim and Neil, and then how you can go and implement this into your songs. Hey, Danny here, founder of Songwriters International. If you're new to the channel, we help songwriters develop their craft by sharing tips, tricks and techniques on all things songwriting so that you can go and write your best possible songs. Okay, so reason number 1 that every songwriter should be listening and studying this song is because of this instrumental hook. Now this comes in right at the beginning of the song, and it's a continual reoccurring theme throughout the track, but isn't it just so catchy, so melodically engaging, and given it's at the start of the song, it gets you pulled in wanting to hear more as to what's going on with this song. And the beautiful thing, it's instantly recognisable, and it does the one thing that so many songwriters forget to do. It isn't just an intro, but it's a musical hook. It's a continual musical hook, meaning it creates a melodic identity that keeps showing up throughout the song that creates a hook for the listener. The great thing is that it actually has plenty of movement, which I highly recommend when it comes to melody. It feels alive and it actually pulls you into the track. Now a lot of the time when I hear instrumentals, it'll be the same 4 chords introing the song, and that itself unfortunately is not going to engage the listener. You need to create a melodic motif, something that's going to engage them and pull them into the song, and not just play the same 4 chords introing your track. You have to remember, this is the first impression of your song, especially like I say if you're having an instrumental, so you want to get off to the races as best as possible. And Crowded House here don't waste a single second. They take their moment, they take their opportunity. If your song starts weak, don't fix the chorus first, fix those first 5 seconds and make use of every single second that you have available. Into reason number 2, and it's the opening line of the song. Now this is one of my favourite scene setting lyrics that I've ever heard in all of the songs that I've listened to. The opening lyric is walking around the room singing Stormy Weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street. That is just elite songwriting, because it's not generic. It's not I feel sad, it's not I feel happy, it's not I want to hold your hand. It's a camera shot. You see this person walking around the room singing a specific song at a literal address, 57 Mount Pleasant Street. And the beautiful brilliance of this song is it doesn't just stop there. It continues this theme on of specificity throughout the lyric. Later on in the song, you've got lyrics like lying like a lounge room lizard and things made of china. Those details do something incredibly important. They make the lyric feel observed rather than invented. Because great lyric writing itself isn't about saying something emotional. It's about making the listener on the other side believe that you're telling the truth. And when you get super specific on a location, a place, a feeling, what that actually looks like, that bleeds truth. Now, if your lyrics themselves feel somewhat vague, you just need to do a couple of things. You need to add one detail that can't be faked. Try a street name, or a strange object, or a specific room, specific behaviour, a weird metaphor like lounge room lizard. It gives the song a physical word. And a great tip on this when you're writing your lyrics, if you feel your lyrics are vague on that first draft, start to ask that lyric questions. For example, if you say that I'm sat in the room with you, it's like, where is that room? What do you see? What do you smell? Who is the person? Because those questions will allow you to get answers, and those answers will allow you to feed into the lyric and give it more information. And one very important thing that with this song song, Weather With You, does very well is the opening lyric is one of the most important parts of your songs. And with this track, we have walking around the room singing stormy weather. It sets a scene straight away, it brings you in. So if you're going to really focus your lyric writing anywhere, make sure that opening line of your song, that lyric, is absolutely perfect. To reason number 3, let's look at contrast, but not just any contrast. We're talking about a chord progression contrast that Neil and Tim do incredibly well with this song. Now, Crowded House themselves are masters of not overcomplicating much, and with this song, they use very simple chord progressions. They're sitting around the A's, the E minors, the D minors, the G's, the F, the standard chords that we as songwriters always find ourselves going to. So it breaks the belief that hit songs cannot be written with the same 4 or 5 chords, because they can, and this song is proof of that. Now, one of my favourite moments in this song is the shift between verse and pre-chorus, and it just has a super subtle minor change. It's such a small musical decision, but emotionally it changes the dynamic of the song massively. So let me get my guitar and show you how this actually works. So in the verse, they're primarily sitting around an E minor and something like an A7. And then it goes into a D minor for the pre-chorus, but it sounds like this. Going round the room singing stormy weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street. Now we have this change. Things ain't cooking. You can hear that change. You can hear the musical contrast. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play the same chords from verse into pre-chorus, and you're going to see how the contrast is not there, but it feels like it should change. So something like this. Going round the room singing stormy weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street, yeah. Then the change would be here. And things ain't cooking in my kitchen. And it just doesn't feel the same as to when it goes to that D minor and that C. Things ain't cooking in my kitchen. And the truth is, if your song doesn't have contrast, the listener is going to leave. And the thing is, they don't even know why they want to leave. They just lose interest. They don't have the science behind it. It's not because musically it didn't change in their head. They just lost interest. But we as songwriters need to keep them engaged and use subtle techniques like this, where we just change musically section by section, which continues to generate interest. And it completely changes the momentum, changes the emotion because we go to the minor, it changes the energy of the song, and then we go back in to the E minor. The truth is, when you're songwriting, you should be able to differentiate the 2 sections, and that should be either melodically, lyrically, or musically. Now, what they do with this song is they change it musically, and they also change the lyric and story behind it. But if there was no change at all, the listener wouldn't actually know what section of the song we are in. But because you hear the musical change, you know that it's a new section. You as the listener can subconsciously tell, oh, we're into a new part of the song. But as soon as you don't have those types of changes, what happens is it just feels like this big, massive piece of work, and it's hard then to segment for us. And the beautiful thing is it can be a super small minor tweak, like the Crowded House song, Weather With You. It doesn't have to be 10 layers deep and some fancy musical production piece. It can be super, super simple. Reason number 4 is surface level lyric writing. Now, what is surface level lyric writing? It's a concept that I've been teaching now for the past 5 years, and it is absolutely fundamental to be able to write great lyrics that are beneath the surface, that tell a story like they do in the verse, and then the chorus where they have the super simple, everywhere you go, you always take the weather with you. But first of all, we've got to understand what is the job of a chorus. The job of a chorus is for people to remember it, it's for them to repeat it, it's for them to sing it back. And more importantly, actually feel like they're part of the song. That's the purpose of a chorus. That's what creates that chant effect that you would see in an arena or a stadium. And that's why 9 times out of 10, a chorus should not be overly wordy or have too much detail in it. The verse is designed to carry the detail. It's designed to carry the specificity for the listener. And then the chorus is that release. It's the release of simplicity. It's where we just strip it all back. We go a surface level lyrics like I love you, lyrics like I miss you, lyrics like I need you. Or in this case, we have the lyric, everywhere you go, you always take the weather with you. Everywhere you go, you always take the weather. Everywhere you go, you always take the weather with you. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go. Super, super simple. It's incredibly satisfying to sing, because everybody can remember that. It's the same lyrics just repeated fundamentally 4 times. And it's a perfect example of choruses that work immediately, without any explanation, without overcomplicating it, without having to tell some big story. And that same principle shows up in huge, massive songs. Songs like Let It Be, Hey Jude, Stand By Me, I Want It That Way, We Will Rock You. None of those are overcomplicated. They're just chants. They're slogans that people will sing back and easily remember. So when you come to write a chorus, consider just writing surface level lyrics that people can attach to, can hook onto very simply, because that's all you need to do in your chorus. Your chorus is designed to get people to sing along and get them to remember it. And if you can do that, then you're well on your way to having a great song. Reason number 5 is the use of static melodies. These are one of the most commonly used melodies within songwriting, but they are used incredibly well by Neil and Tim. Now, the purpose of a static melody is to focus on the lyric, and that's exactly what they do with this song. When you have real detailed lyrics, like we have walking around the room singing Stormy Weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street, the focus, the limelight is on the lyric. It's not on the melody. So what we need to match that type of lyric with is a nice, simple, static melody. Now let me show you an example of what a static melody is. Now a static melody itself, it is fundamentally sitting on the same note for a long duration of time. It might have very small movements, but most of the time it's going to sit around the same note. So it might be something like, I was looking da 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 da. I am singing on the same note and very not much moving like that. It's very simple. Like I say, sits on that melody. Now, how do they use it in this song? Let's go through that verse. We got that opening line, walking around the room singing Stormy Weather, 57 Mount Pleasant Street. It sits primarily on the same note. Walking round the room singing stormy weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street. I'm not moving the melody around. I'm not going round the room singing stormy weather 57 Mount Pleasant Street. That would be too much movement. You can see how the focus starts to become on how the melody is moving around, how I'm trying to hit bigger notes. That part is saved for later on in the song. So what they do incredibly well, they know when the limelight is on the lyric, strip back the melody. Keep it simple, put the focus on there. When the focus is on a catchy chorus, everywhere you go, it's got a nice movement to it. It uses what we call a disjunct melody. But before that, it sets it up really well with a static melody. So when you're writing verses, you cannot go wrong with just sitting on a melody that doesn't move very much. And static melodies themselves are very conversational. So they are a great way to tell the listener in a super conversational way. And I want you to see the static melody as a setup tool. It takes you from here and you're just building and building before you have access to go to that big chorus. Reason number 6 is taking something old and making it sound new. Now this is really worth studying, and this is, in my opinion, above everything else, the main reason why this song works so well. That line, everywhere you go, you always take the weather with you, is basically saying wherever you go in life, you're carrying your own emotions. You have the opportunity yourself to brighten up your day. You can make it rain, you can make it sunshine, you can have it cloudy. It's up to you. You drive the car of your emotions. And you can change the room, you can change the city, even change the mood. But you bring, like I say, you bring the emotion. And here's the really clever bit. They didn't write, you control your emotions. You have ownership of your emotions. You are the responsibility. You are sad, you are happy. You can be sad, you can be happy. And say your mood follows wherever you go. Because we've heard that before. And we don't need a song that tells the main emotion. How can you take that emotion and package it up differently? How can you use a metaphor for that emotion, which they do in this case of weather? This next thing I'm going to say I really want you to digest and consider every time you write a song is how can you use a creative vehicle to tell your emotion. In this case, the creative vehicle was weather. Let's suppose you're writing a song about being played by somebody in a relationship. How could you relate that back? Maybe to poker, maybe to chess. That famous song by Kenny Rogers called The Gambler. And that is a beautiful example of how he's taken an idea, a concept, but he's used a creative vehicle to do something incredibly unique that not many people did. And that is one of the most powerful things in songwriting, is taking a concept that has been said thousands of times and finding a unique perspective, a unique spin on that same concept that feels you, and making it come to life in a way that is brand new. And honestly, in 2026, this matters now more than ever. In a place where there's 50, 60, 70,000 songs uploaded every day. Everybody's heard that love song. I love you, you love me, I'm happy, I'm sad, I miss you, whatever it is. Don't write another song. What creative vehicle can you use to still talk about the same topic, but say it in a creative way that hasn't been done before, in the same way that we have there with Weather With You, Crowded House. And your goal is to make a listener think, I've never heard this topic of song, this thing, love, happiness, sadness, emotions, I've never heard it said like that. That's your goal. So those are the 6 reasons why the song Weather With You by Crowded House is an absolute masterclass from start to finish, and it's a song that I absolutely love and adore myself. I play regularly, and I recommend you go and listen to this song now with these things in mind, and it will shift your perspective of how you actually listen to this song, but also other songs. I've put together a video on my complete songwriting process and how I've taken these types of concept amongst many others, and how I put it into my day-to-day actions, how I go from idea through to lyrics, through to melody, through to music creation, through to the next stage of production, what that journey actually looks like from start to finish. So somewhere around here you can click that video, head on over to my complete process, how I write a song. I'd love to share that with you. And like I say, take these tips amongst others and how you start to actually merge them into a process. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this. Also in the description below, if you want to work with me one-to-one and you want to actually get that help, mentorship and accountability, then you can book an application call below. Fill out the form, go ahead, book a call, and we can see if we can help you on a one-to-one basis and get you moving forward with your songwriting.